Hello, Assalamu alaikum, Grüezi, Grüß dich, bonjour. We are Switzerland 2020 and myself, Stefan Hager, reading with you in this beautiful shop, Mark's Gospel, Gospel of Mark, or John Mark, or Injiil. As you can see, this is a version easy for us to understand. It is New International Reader's version, and we read today introduction and one verse and the bookmark. So let's put my family aside and see. Here in the introduction it says that John Mark shows Jesus as a person on the move. The story begins with John the Baptist and the baptism of Jesus as an adult. It soon becomes clear that Jesus is a man of great energy and power as he teaches, heals, forgives sins. Some people follow Jesus and become disciples. Jesus tells them how hard this is and that they must expect suffering. Other people, they turn away. Some become his enemies. All the time, Jesus is moving towards his death in Jerusalem. His resurrection comes as a shock and a surprise, although he has promised that he would rise to new life. This is the introduction. I show you the bookmark. If we go a few chapters on, it's 16 chapters we will read, but we have the bookmark in chapter 15. I believe it's talking about Mark, John Mark himself. Verse 51, it says, a young man, that is actually between Jesus was arrested and handed over to the high priest in the temple. A young man, that's 51, a young man was following Jesus. Everyone else ran away, we just learned before. The man was wearing nothing but a piece of linen cloth. Then the crowd grabbed him. He ran away naked. He left his clothing behind. Can you see that? That's just before Jesus went to the cross. Chapter 14, the young man who followed Jesus secretly, they grabbed his clothes and they took the clothes and he ran away naked. And I believe this is John Mark. He was just a young man. He was not one of the 12, but he was an eyewitness of Jesus' life and his death and his resurrection. So he wrote for Peter. This is really Peter's gospel. Peter was the leading disciple, but John Mark was more educated. Peter was a preacher, and John Mark, if you want, he was a journalist. So let's see what it says back in the beginning in verse 1. When we go and read again here, it says, verse 1 of the Gospel of Mark, verse 1, this is the beginning of the good news. Good news also is the Injiil, or the Gospel, about Jesus Christ, the Son of God. So here we've got it. Some of you might have a problem with Hazrat Isa being called the Son of God. But it's really a spiritual and eternal relationship. He pre-existed his human body, and he was always and will always be. It says in the Bible, Jesus the same yesterday, today and forever. Jesus Christ is as much God as his Father is God and as the Holy Spirit is God. But in this gospel, bluntly, to the point, in 16 chapters, Mark writes about life, death and resurrection of Jesus Christ and what he taught and how he healed the sick and how he forgave sins. And it's all packed up in only 16 chapters. We'll be reading day by day, and I will be posting for you on Facebook if you have the time and you have the patience to read along in your translation in Urdu, Amharic, English, French, German, Swiss, whatever language you speak and you understand, any African language, anything, it will be for you specially. So have a nice day.